partners in this space. But it came time for us, of course, with any private equity cycle, do we buy this thing back or do we find a partner? And for us, I would love to see our family recipe in kids' bellies all over the globe, right? And you have a brand like Mondelez supporting, say, an Oreo, right? 112 years old, and the social reach that Oreo has with the voice is quite impactful. And Mondelez says, we really address social and emotional benefit with so many of our brands, but we want to start supporting with our dollars brands that also not only do that, but support people in a functional way as well. The only way this is going to work is if we leave you independent, you continue running from your headquarters in San Diego, and you're able to pull resources and punch far above your weight class and continue to scale. So it's really been a fun partnership where I sometimes feel like we wanted to get more support than we've gotten from Mondelez, where they're like, no, you're on your own. But that's amazing. So we're able to, obviously, their insights or data or to understand consumer trends. But in the end, it's our choice. And we have a headquarters right down the street here in San Diego, and that's how we plan to keep it.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Did I hear a Oreo Perfect bar coming out? Is that?
No, they will not let us do that. They're like, no, people are going to do that. They're going to think that was our idea.
You heard it here first, everybody. No, thank you. We're running down, the judges are here. Any thoughts to these great entrepreneurs that are doing stuff and they're starting their journey, and you guys are 10, 15, 20 years in, any parting thoughts to the room?
Okay, parting thoughts. Do a business plan, the devil's in the details, right? So make sure you know what your numbers are. Make sure that you invest in a good accountant and good legal advice and track all your records from the beginning. You'll regret not having those. And be careful who you take money from early on. It's very tempting early on when you desperately need those first funds, but those investors will remain with you the rest of your company's life. So make sure you're very thoughtful around what funds you are taking in.
Yeah, I echo so many of the same pieces of advice. I think the same advice around just getting behind the table and really listening to the customer. I mean, this is like a great opportunity. Many of you are in the early stages to really be there. That first year, I think I did, obviously I did hundreds of demos, but 30 or 40 trade shows across the country, just listening to customers, hearing their feedback. And that was so instrumental in how we thought about packaging, how we thought about changing the formula before we went into retail. And so I look at those times and it doesn't change. You still always are listening to your customers. It's just kind of different, right now, but it's such an amazing time to really just be face to face and hear feedback directly. So I miss that.
Great.
I think you all did such an incredible job, and I can't wait to try all of your products, really. I'm sitting here thinking, would I have been able to stand on that stage and give such a powerful delivery with an amazing looking deck like you guys had? We did not look like that 17 years ago. Just amazing job. I think protect your margins. I think that's what we've heard over all of the years. Like, as you get retailers who maybe aren't ready or too big or too fast for you, just say no and head over to the right retailers that have the right consumer base or the right pricing structure, and leave meat on the bones for all of it, right? Starting with D2C all the way to the mass or club channel, and just make sure your pricing structure and your margins, or at least a line of sight to margins, is there. We were so honed in on that for those first 10 years because we were bootstrapped. We had to be. We knew our break even. It was written on the back of our hand. And so I think building a business with that as a foundation is very different than a lot of brands that come into the space and just find money. It's very different than it was before these days. And so staying really disciplined and taking the right money at the right time and waiting as long as possible would be my advice.
Amazing. Thank you guys so very much. Round of applause, everybody.